Hello friends, welcome to another reading vlog. This week's reading vlog is going to be coming out, I think, in the 27th or 28th of December. So happy holidays, everyone. I hope your holiday has been a fun, memorable, and cozy one. And if it was chaotic, I hope it went well at the end of the day. But in any case, I am filming this at December... what is today? 15th, the 15th of December, as I'm filming this, so it's going to be a ways away, but I wanted to be themed around, I guess, Christmas time, because it's the season, I guess, and I have been in quite of a reading slump when it comes to like my initial choices with my TBR, so I wanted to change it up a little bit, but also be in line with what I am interested in as well. I do have my little Christmas tree set up here to the side, just so that I have some sort of decoration in my setup to make it a little bit more festive. I did purchase like a string of very rigid fairy lights just so that I could light up the tree, as it were. And so this week is going to be also a little bit similar to last week, which is crafting and just more geared to Christmassy, because our TBR for this week is going to be a lot of like Christmas related murder mystery or mystery thriller books. I actually chose 3 books for this week. God knows how many I will be able to finish, actually, because in the case from last week, I did not really read as much because it was super busy. But granted, this week, as I'm filming this whole week of reading, I don't think I have that much stuff to do, hopefully. But in any case, I have 3 books for this week's TBR. First one being a audiobook. Let me pull up my Goodreads so that we could talk about the synopsis. The first one being Hercule Poirot's Christmas by Agatha Christie. Now, I do not read Agatha Christie books in order, I guess, because I wanted a audiobook for when I'm crafting, when I'm crocheting, when I'm updating like my journals and doing all the stuff. I have so many hobbies that I'm like trying to cram into 1 week. So audiobooks are the best way to go. And I found an audiobook on YouTube for Hercule Poirot's Christmas. Synopsis reads, in Hercule Poirot's Christmas, the holidays are anything but merry when a family reunion is marred by murder, and a notorious fastidious investigator is quickly on the case. The wealthy Simeon Lee has demanded that all 4 of his sons, one faithful, one prodigal, one impecunious, and one sensitive, and their wives return home for Christmas, but a heartwarming family holiday is not exactly what he has in mind. He bedevils each of his sons with barbed insults, and finally announces that he is cutting out their allowances and changing his will. Poirot is called in the aftermath of Simeon Lee's announcement. So it's another classic whodunit situation. I think all of the books that I've chosen for this week is like a whodunit. I did think about doing 4 books because one of them was really short. However, I could not find a copy of it. So anyway, the second book that we have for this TBR is another part of a series. The first one in the Frank Grasby mystery is the first time I've heard of this, actually. Murder at Holly House by Denzel Merrick. Very few reviews, but still it's like 3.5 ratings with 1,600 ratings. So it's like so few people have read this, but it's also like kind of a bit higher there. So I think I'll be able to like try to see if I like it. This was released... when was this released? I see it 2023, so this is not new release. But anyway, the synopsis for Murder at Holly House is December 1952, and a dead stranger has been found lodged up in the chimney of Holly House in the remote town of Alderby. Is he a simple thief or a would-be killer? Either way, he wasn't on anyone's Christmas wish list. A mystery that can't be solved, Inspector Frank Grasby is ordered to investigate. The victim of some unfortunate misunderstandings, he hopes this case will help clear his name. But as is often the way for Grasby, things most certainly don't go according to plan. Soon blizzards hit the North York moors, cutting off the village from help, and a local doctor's husband is found murdered. Grasby begins to realize that everyone in Alderby is hiding something, and if he can't uncover the truth soon, the whole country will pay a dreadful price. So it's another whodunit, another case of a serial murder, trapped in, like, the cast of characters are trapped in this house and one of them is the murderer, and it's just classic, I guess. It's like classic tropes, and I really enjoy those types of what do you call this? I really enjoy those types of stories, even if like it's not necessarily Christmassy, but I chose these types of books because I wanted a murder mystery during Christmas time for this TBR, because I don't really like to read like romance stories or whatever during Christmas time. So I'm leaning more to like the murder mystery whodunits during this season. So The 12 Days of Murder is the last one by Andreina Cordani. Also very few ratings, 3,700 ratings, but 3.6 in star rating. 8 friends created the exclusive masquerade murder society while in college. The murders they solved were fictional until their final masquerade, when one of the group disappeared. Like now, our young, privileged cast of old university friends are summoned to the depths of Scotland for a Christmas-themed masquerade party, but all are hiding something deep below the surface that could make or break their careers. Charlie, this is such a long synopsis. Charlie is a struggling actress who has always been on the periphery of this high-flying group, but has decided to reunite with her frenemies on the promise of career help if she joins the old cast for one last weekend. When they arrive, each is assigned a new identity themed around the 12 days of Christmas. They become Lady Partridge or Mr. Gold, Lord Hempworth or Dr. Swan. The game begins, and it feels just like old times until the next morning when Lady Partridge is found hanging dead from a pear tree. It quickly becomes clear that in this game, the murder will be all too real, and the story is bringing long-hidden secrets to the surface. Will Charlie's discerning eye or outsider status allows her to uncover the truth, or will she too fall prey to the murderer among them? If the group hopes to win the games and survive until Christmas morning, they will need to face the truth about their history together and who they have become, and what really happened to that fateful night 12 years before. So, yeah, another whodunit in a secluded house with a cast of characters. All of these books have like almost the same, no, they have the same situation, but only two investigators are like professional, and the last one being like an outsider perspective of this friend group. So 2 male investigators, 1 female investigator, and that's going to be our TBR for this week. I'm super excited. I actually started Hercule Poirot's Christmas last night while I was finishing my crochet project from last week's video. I'm going to scooch this to the side so that you can see. There you go. So last week I actually was doing this sort of autumn themed, autumn colored desk mat for our filming setup, and I was doing like my 2025 planning situation for all of my crochet projects, and I already have 7 projects lined up for 2025. I could start now technically, and I will be starting today with one of the crochet projects for 2025 because that one has a deadline, and I wanted to bring it to like our trip come February. And this is what I finished last night. This is almost like, I jokingly sent this to my friend, my best friend, and told her that this looks like a magic carpet of some sort, but this is supposed to be the gingham. I put a very long like title of this on my journal when I finish it. It is the Fleur Granny Square Autumn Gingham desk mat. And what I did from the last video was that I was going to finish the edging of it, and I realized that I did not have enough of this wine red yarn to finish the border in the way that I did here to the side, which is regular granny squares. So I decided to just granny stitch up the top and the bottom with the wine red and then the yellow. I still have a bunch of the yellow, but none of the wine red, and a little bit of the brown left. But I am calling this project done. I even like spent time sewing up the ends last night, even though I'm super sleepy. But this is done. And you're going to see this hopefully next autumn. I'm just going to keep this in storage for a bit, and I'm going to deal with my next project, which is a project bag actually. So there are actually 2 crochet projects that I wanted to do as of the moment, because I still have like the motivation to do it. So I am thinking of just going back and forth to see which ones I'm in the mood for, because one is more tedious than the other. The first one that I'm going to be doing hopefully while I'm listening to the audiobook is I'm going to make another one of this, which is a project bag. Forgot the name. I do have my make book here, or make notebook, of all of the projects that I've done for 2024, and then I am like writing who I got the pattern from, if it was in YouTube or if it was in like DeviantArt or Pinterest or whatever. But if it's a free pattern, I just copy the pattern so that it will be easier for me because I listen to the audiobook while I crochet. So I don't have to like exit out of the audiobook so that I could see what the next part of the pattern is, so I just write it down. So this is from the Sweater Collective on YouTube, which is a crochet project bag. I made this last September, and it only took me 3 days to make this whole bag, which is super big, and it holds all of my yarn actually inside. So it's a drawstring bag, and this is like 18 rows of like the bottom part. So I was thinking, come February, we already booked our tickets, so we're going to go to it, going on a trip out of town, and I wanted to have like a similar project bag for that trip, but I wanted to be smaller because my intention for this trip, actually I'm saving up quite a bit because I want to go to this mall where there's a lot of gachapon machines, and I wanted like, I don't want to bring a plastic bag for that. I want to put it in like a crochet bag, all of the tiny items that I'm going to get for this trip. So what will happen is that since this is 18 rows, I might just cut it to 9 or 10, make it a little bit smaller so that I could hold, like put it in my backpack, and it's going to be small but also big enough to carry like capsule toys. So my color palette sadly is not that as pretty as this one. I call it my mango float bag, but it's more like a bumblebee if my best friend calls it, but I like to call this my mango float one because I'm super hungry. But I only have like a little bit of my yarn stash left that has pretty colors that have a lot in them, like a lot of having a lot of the same color, I mean. So I chose to use, actually this is like very, no, not similar to the mat that I'm using right now, but I chose this one, this palette. It's a very icy sort of palette with the teal, I guess, teal green, like gray, light gray, and then I have leftover granny squares from this blue from another like project that I have. I want to unravel this, knot it together and form like part of the middle, I guess, like 1 or 2 rows, just so that it has like this sort of contrasting line in between, like a design of some sort. So that's what I'm going to use that for. I only have this much left of this, and I still have a lot of grays from my failed Mimikyu plush, shiny Mimikyu plushie that I was supposed to make but failed to do so. I still have 4 whole skeins, balls of discolored yarn. However, I was like, I'm trying to save those 4 skeins for my project for my cousins. I wanted to make like simple crochet beanies that are silver and gray for both of them, just different pattern or like different striping, for a gift next year for my cousins, because they are from Canada and I'm from the Philippines, and I have no way yet of sending gifts to them on time. So I'm going to give them next year when my aunt arrives here for April. So 3 projects already in my mind as of the moment. So the first one is this one, the mini project bag. The second one is the 2 crochet beanies for my cousins, and the third one is actually my spring desk mat. So another desk mat. I wanted to make like seasonal desk mats for our filming setup so that I could at least feel like something changes in the season. I mentioned this in my last week's video, but this desk mat that we are currently using, I believe would be like the closest thing to a summer desk mat because it is seafoam green, and I don't really like to do another summer sort of desk mat. So I am assigning this as my summer. We already did autumn. I have my winter one yarn, but I don't want to deal with that just yet because it's a thinner 2-ply yarn, so I'm not going to do that just yet. And also, I am trying to see if I'm able to get a head start on my spring one. My spring one, I did see one crochet YouTuber. I will put their name on screen and also like the thumbnail, wherein they made this very pretty dress made of crochet flowers. And I might end up doing something similar, but in a desk mat format. So we're going to have like a very chaotic, very colorful flower design set up. But also, that is what I said, it's very tedious because I have to make the flowers different and individual, and then I have to sew it all together. So I'm just going to do that, like a head start on that, and I'm going to be using like yarn that I have left over, like tiny bits of yarn from different projects that I have left over. I have a whole bag of that, and I'm just going to sort that out later. But anyway, I'm going to do this. Well, I'm going to cook first. I'm going to cook first for Sunday dinner and lunch, basically. And then I'm going to do this while listening to the audiobook. Maybe make a little bit of like flowers here and there just to jumpstart that project. And we'll see how this week goes. So I hope you enjoy.
By Agatha Christie. Read by Hugh Fraser. Part 1. December the 22nd. Inspector Narracott was not destined to see Major Burnaby until he had had a protracted interview with Mrs. Benning, licensed proprietor of the Three Crowns.
It is now 3 p.m, still Sunday, still the 15th of December, and I have an update and I have a progress report when it comes to our crochet project for this week. So, I did manage to finish Hercule Poirot's Christmas by Agatha Christie, and I actually enjoyed listening to the audiobook of that. I gave it a 4-star because not only was it unexpected, I believe, but also it was a good plot twist to a whodunit story. So, I don't know, it's very classic. I just enjoyed how Hercule Poirot puzzled all of the missing pieces together, and Agatha Christie already written down, like, early in a few scenes, some of the things that are quite suspicious. Like, each of them have something suspicious going on, and I like that it leads you to that point wherein it could be any one of them, and then turns out it was this small detail that really zeroed in on the conclusion to who really was the actual murderer in the case. And I was doing my crocheting while listening to that, and it's very enjoyable, very cozy Sunday. And to be fair, it was like I started around 9 and I did have to cook lunch, so I stopped for a little bit and then continued with my crocheting after lunch. So it was like a good solid 4.5 hours of me doing this, and my back hurts. So I did ended up picking another Agatha Christie audiobook, which is the Sitterford Mystery. I believe it's a different series, I guess, of mystery. I don't know if it's a series or not, but I just scrolled through. It was like recommended after I listened to the Hercule Poirot story. So it's like, you listen to this completely, here's another suggestion. So I clicked on that because the cover of it looks quite wintry. So I was like, it's still like wintry, Christmassy season sort of mystery that happened. Like, the timeline was perfect. So I decided to pick it up while I was continuing with this project bag situation that I have. And I wanted to actually update when I finish this first ball of yarn. And to be fair, I'm actually kind of tired and wanted to like rest. So for today, this is, I guess I'm going to just finish this ball, but I might end up like resting after this, so that tomorrow I'm just going to pick up where I left off with the second ball or skein of yarn. And I also while I was doing this is like also like brainless single crochet all throughout the bag once I finished with the increases. So it was like mindless already when I started going up the bag. So when I was doing this earlier, I actually made a mistake because this pattern calls for you to single crochet through the back loop only. So this is not necessarily a tutorial, but if you see the V of the crochet stitch, as you can see here, you single crochet through the back only. Like, you can see that there is a V here, so you put it in between Like I twist when like you put your hook in between and then single crochet as normal so that you could have like lined effect on that. And I really enjoyed the look of it when I made this the first time, so I did it again, but I actually forgot that fact, so I had to redo this. So this is the second time I made this base, but it was fine. I was able to like catch onto it early on. So when I was doing this, there's like mindless single crochets all throughout. I was like kind of bored sometimes. So in that 4.5-ish hours of me crocheting this, I was also like in between making 1 or 2 flowers for my spring desk mat. So this is what I wanted out of the spring desk mat. I wanted to do like tiny bits and pieces. I think I did include a clip of me showing you guys all of the tiny scrap colors that I have of yarn, and I just going to mix and match it and put this as flat as I can and just puzzle it. Some I will have like stars just so to break up all of the flowers. I will also have leaves. I still am looking for like the bag of leaves that I have made in the past, but this is like the idea of it, so that once this is all finished, we will be having like a huge mat of just multiple different sorts of flowers, like sakuras, I don't know what else these are, like marigolds, another one of these stars. I'm going to make more stars, more colors, and this is just what I have made today, except these two, I guess, and the stars. So today I made these, and then these were like from past projects that I either ripped out or did not continue, and I decided like I don't want to like take apart the star. I'm just going to use it for this project. So we need a lot of these, I believe, and I also have a ton of scrap pieces of yarn left over from past projects that are vibrant and floral colors anyway. So that's something that I'm going to be doing a little bit at a time throughout the early 2025 maybe. I'm thinking that I hope that I'm able to finish this project before spring in the United States start, because I don't know when that is. I'm in the Philippines, so I have to search for when spring actually starts, so that that will be my deadline for this spring desk mat situation that we're going to have. And this one, my deadline is actually February, because I'm going to bring this at the end of February during our trip. And this is like so close to this color scheme, like you know now one of my favorite color schemes, because it's like so close. So yeah, I might end up finishing this before 2025 hits anyway, and it will include in my 2024 makes. Who knows? I'm still motivated to do it, and sometimes if I know that I'm motivated to do something, I would most likely jump into it and just finish it while the motivation is still there. So with that, that is the update so far. I'm going to continue with the Sitafor mystery, and I will do a little bit of like journaling, maybe update my journals, because I haven't been updating my journals at all this past couple of days. I don't know, I just fell off a bit with all of like, this is the problem, I guess, when you have like a bunch of like hobbies. Like, hear me out for a bit. When you have a bunch of hobbies, I guess it's always like that time management situation, especially when you're an adult with work. And I am like super lucky enough to have work that is with my aunt, so I have flexibility of time. I could opt out anytime and just come back. Like, it's not that like strict when it comes to that, because it's a store, it's a storefront, and I could just go in and out whenever. It's just at our house. And of course, if you're an adult, you have responsibilities and you just don't want to just play around all the time. So it comes down to me, like, I get up at around 7. So I work at around 8:45, 9 a.m. and then go off at around 4:30 or 5, depending on the day, sometimes 4. It depends on like the amount of chores I had to do. And 4 or 5 p.m. you get like you clean up, and then you have all the time that you want at the end of the day to either do any of the hobbies that you would want to do. So it's either play, watch YouTube, or like anything watching related, listen to an audiobook or read. And as for my case, crochet, journal, collage, even draw sometimes. Sometimes I do a bunch of other crafty sort of stuff for my friends, for my family, like a surprise of some sort, making decorations. And it's like, I sleep pretty early, so that's around 10-ish p.m. So I do have like around 5 hours to do whatever I want. But sometimes your body just says no and just wants to rest. And like, I sometimes sleep at around 8 p.m. if I'm like super tired. So it's a struggle to like find that balance of like what it is that you want to use your 5 hours of playtime with when you have so many hobbies. Like I have so many that I want to do. I still have that diamond painting that my best friend gave me for my birthday this year that I have not finished. There's some like drawing and also prepping for videos for YouTube. Like there's a lot, and a lot of editing and a lot of like time consuming stuff, like things that I'm very happy to be doing, but also like which one would you want to start first? And that's like the struggle that I have been having for the past couple of months. That's why some of my notebook videos, like if you also watch my in my journals videos, you'd see that I have a bunch of like my anime journals, my manga journals, my cozy and chaos binder. Like I did not have the time nor the energy to do those anymore. That's why they have fallen off the lineup. Also fallen off the lineup for 2025, unless somehow one of these months I ended up like binging another sort of anime or manga, whatever. And oh, speaking of manga, now this is another open topic. Like, let me just finish this tiny ball while we talk. And I realized that last night when I was updating my Fable account, like I do have Goodreads, I have Storygraph, and I have Fable, but somehow Fable is the most like visually pleasing when it comes to like your statistics for me at least. So I do have like the tracker wherein you read every day and then tracks how many books you have read, and I placed there 150 as my reading goal because I have included manga volumes in my reading tracking. Like I have read these series or manga volumes, I'm sorry. I have read these manga volumes, and like some mangas do have like 14, 15, 17 volumes, and I usually just binge them. And I kind of feel like, at least for me, I'm not talking about other people. This is just for me, and this is just for me. That it's kind of like unfair, I believe, because manga volumes are super quick and easy to cheese. Like it's super quick and easy to finish, that including them in my reading goal is kind of like, for me at least, I feel like I'm cheating. Like I don't know for other people, but for me at least. But like for example, I read Dungeon Meshi, which is like 13, 12 volumes, and like in that 1 month, my camera cut me off. I've been talking for quite some time now. So what I'm getting at is that if ever like my goal for 2025 is like 50 books, I could just simply read 50 volumes of manga, let's say One Piece, like 50 volumes of One Piece, and I'll be done with my reading goal for the year. It's kind of like, so yeah, for 2025, what I'm getting at here is that for 2025, I'm not going to include manga anymore in my Fable, Storygraph, and Goodreads tally, and just stick to like books, no graphic novels either, no webtoons, no nothing. So yeah, that's what I'm getting at. But woohoo, 150 books for 2024. That's good enough for me. Hello friends, update. It has been quite a bit since I filmed the last clip. Today is Sunday the 22nd, and it's quite early in the morning, so it's kind of a bit noisy outside with all of the pets of our neighbors. But I did manage to finish 2 books since I last updated you guys, and also 1 project. And yeah, let's just get right into it. I did finish The Citizenfood Mystery by Agatha Christie and The Murder at Holly House by, was it Denzel Mayrick, I guess is the name. So the first one, Agatha Christie classic, I did not really enjoy it that much. I am listening to the free audiobook on YouTube of it, as I am crocheting different projects that I wanted to get done before 2024. And honestly, I don't know why, but my mind just blanked because I needed to like listen to the last 40 minutes of the audiobook again in order to understand who really was the killer. And then when the main female character, the partner of the suspect who was supposed to be innocent, told the people who the real murderer was, it was kind of underwhelming for me. So I gave it actually a 3-star, or was it a 2.5 or 3-star? But it was like 3 stars. And yeah, I just was like, okay, I'm done with that. So I'm also, as I was listening to that audiobook, I finished my project bag, which is very tiny, but you can really see it in frame, but it is the smaller version, it's drawstring, and I'm pretty pleased with this. Pretty happy with how it turned out. This is going to be my gotcha pouch for when we go to that trip, and it currently houses my next project that I'm actually working on. And the second book that I finished while I was out and not filming was Murder at Holly House, which in my brain was like, this is a murder mystery about this mystery man who is being suspected as a thief, who has died and got stuck on a chimney of a lord of this land, Elderby. And I was like, who is this guy? Who are these suspicious people in town that are like giving either false information, withholding information, and like all out being like sus and secretive of our Detective Frank Grasby, who is actually like somehow failing at his job. Like he cannot do any of his work properly. He has no sense of like, it is brought upon to us that he has no he doesn't have good judgment when it comes to like people, and he's too trusting to be a detective basically. And the more we read through the story, the more we understand why that is, and that his conversation with his self is like, I don't really enjoy reading that way. So I was like, I am about to DNF this book at around 15 or 20 chapters, but I was like so into it already that I am actually quite curious who killed that guy on the chimney, or whether or not that was like an accident or something. I did not expect this ending to be like that. I did not like how it ended, or like where the story went to, and I just gave it a 2-star just so that, yeah, I finished it and I was not happy about it really. So 2 stars for Murder at Holly House. Nothing too Christmassy about it. It's just that the house that the murder happened happens to grow holly plants, and that's it. That's the most Christmassy that it is. And so I am now currently reading. I'm about a third of the way actually, because I really enjoyed it. I started it last night. I forgot the author's name. I will put the picture on the cover on the screen. But I am enjoying it. It is this murder mystery masquerade party on Christmas Day, and then each of the characters have like the 12 Days of Christmas song assigned to them, like their names for this masquerade party, and then they each have a role, and the like person who is in charge of like assigning roles, assigning scripts to the masquerade party is going all out. These are a group of super rich people with suspicious and very scandalous secrets, and like they are all horrible people, and you don't really feel sorry for any of them and what they do. And our main character is the one that they are like sussing as like something that happened so long ago, because she held secrets from them, and he was like, that's 12 years ago. They should have just moved on from this issue, and they are bringing it all back up. The host is like digging up all of their secrets, all of their scandals and such, and it's just a great time. So I'm really enjoying it. I'm eating it up. And while I am reading that, I also am working on the next project that I have here. This is supposed to be like a beanie. So far, this is what I have gotten through last night with my striping. I'm doing these colors, light gray, dark gray, and then black. This is for my cousin, and I'm hoping that I'm able to get this done like in January or something, because I'm making 2 of these. I don't know what my striping or like my patterning for the other one, but I'm making 2, and I want to make the two quite different from each other, but also very similar monochrome, because these are the last couple of colors that I have left that are abundant in my stash, and I want to use those. And I am so happy that after this, because I've allotted my yarn colors for this project already, I know that I might be able to like finish it up, or at least make it to a point wherein it's like half a ball of yarn left, because it's going to be a massive project. 2 hats, 2 beanies, and what ended up happening is that I counted last night my yarn stash, and I am at 10 balls of yarn. And my goal for 2024 was to reduce my yarn stash to single digits, and I'm so happy because I only had 10 left, 9 actually, if I am going to haul one more skein or like ball of yarn, because that was a Christmas gift, and it's a very tiny ball, like 40 grams. It's not even 50 grams, which I'm counting balls of yarn of. And I have a project for that already lined up in my head, and also like writing it down. But almost all of the skeins or balls of yarn in my stash have ideas for them, except 2 or like 3 balls. So I'm super happy that more or less, if I take out all of the yarn that I have projects planned for, lined up for 2025, I will only have 7 balls of yarn left in my stash. So I'm calling it a win already. I'm calling it a win for my yarn stash goal of becoming single digits. So today's Sunday, we're going out. I'm going to film clips of where we're going if I am able to, and I will update you guys once I finish any more books, and if there's anything else to update. So I have finished the 12 Days of Murder by Andreina Cordani, and before getting into the book, I am going to do a little bit of a haul. This little gotcha set and random stuff is from Ali and my brother. He went there to Cebu to get these stuff. Was it last week? No, I can't really remember. But I'm just going to show you fun little bits and pieces here. First of all, this wand, very fun salt or pepper shaker wand, wherein you just twist off the area here, and then you put whatever you want, spices or whatever, in here. Mostly salt or pepper. If I could put this back. Then you sprinkle your salt or pepper that way on your food, and it's like a little bit of a fun kitchen tool. It's really nice. I've seen a lot of videos about this, and having to see it personally, it's kind of like a little fun thing to have around the kitchen. The next one here is from Daiso, Japan. Ali saw this super squishy chenille yarn in light blue. It's only 40 grams. Mole yarn it's called, and it's super fluffy. It's super nice and soft. Like, I have a few ideas on how to use this or where to use this. I do have leftover white chenille yarn that I can probably mix in with this so that it could get farther. Planning 2 projects for one 40-gram ball is kind of a stretch. However, I did manage to, like, I was thinking of making actually a stress ball for myself, and this feels like the perfect yarn for that. Actually, it's soft, it's squishy, and I just needed like a stress ball for my hands and wrist, because sometimes if I write pretty long or do crochet a lot in a span of a few hours, my hand tends to cramp, and also because of the cold. So I wanted a stress ball for myself without paying the huge amount that it is now costing. I can't believe it cost 3 times since the last time I saw a stress ball. So yeah, I'm going to make one for myself with the gifted yarn, and then we have the gacha items. I believe this one, the first one, is from Japan. Like Ali got this for my brother. My brother is a fan of, he used to be in a band. He's a bassist. He used to be a guitarist, then became a bassist, and this is just the Fender keychains, and they got the 1950s spaghetti logo. And I just wanted to include that here because it's all gacha related. And I did put these gacha capsules around my mini Christmas tree, my mini crochet Christmas tree, so it looks like decorations. But anyway, these are the 3 that my brother got for me. Actually, the intention at first was that this one, the big one, was for him because this is a one-piece TCG card keychain, and I will show you first all of the options. And I actually like the Luffy Hanafuda card as well as the Sugar card, but mostly I forgot her name, but he wanted these 3, and then Chopper or Sanji. Where is Sanji? Oh, this is Sanji. And then there are 2 manga cards being the highest rarity in the One Piece TCG, and also goes for a very high price. So we were looking at this. He probably wanted the 3 here, and then Sanji. I would personally choose Sugar as well, and also the Hanafuda Luffy, but what he ended up getting was actually the Ace manga, which is like, okay. And my best friend, I know my best friend really loves Ace, but this is my brother, so I can't really do with this, but I just wanted to show you guys us and our TCG pack openings. I have opened a bunch of One Piece TCG booster packs, but of course not enough maybe to be able to have that possibility of getting a manga, but here we are with a manga keychain. Hopefully that will bode well for us in our next TCG pack openings. And then these 2, this one I guess he did intend to give it to me because there is no Mofusan during the time, like it sold out, and I really like the packaging of this. It's like a little flying saucer, and this is Miffy. It's a magnet. He did not know that it was a magnet, so I'm probably going to put this in my art cart because it is metal, and the other options are also pretty cute. I really like Miffy, but I don't really have that much merch from them. This one is probably my favorite of them, but then again, Mother Bunny and Miffy are so cute together, and it's the only one with 2 of them, so it's special. It's really cute. And then the last one that we have here, the intention for this actually is to get an Anya. This is Spy Family. Can't get this off. Ow. That was a pain to open. But we have here 4 possibilities with 2 Anyas, a Becky, and a Damien. Of course, the likelihood of getting an Anya is greater compared to the other 2, but I would not mind any of them. But the funny thing was, my brother was pulling it, hoping to get this cute Anya, either of them actually. Then he pulled and was like, okay, probably my sister would like this better than I would, and he got me a Damien. Of course, I have not reached the point wherein there is a lot of interaction with Damien and Anya in the manga just yet. I paused my reading of Spy Family as of the moment. I wanted it to be more like a little bit more or maybe even finish before I start reading it again from the very top. I think I reached the point just before them adopting Bond. I think that's where I stopped. I'm not sure, but in any case, I'm pretty happy with this one. It's a standee, and I have not opened it yet. But yeah, those are the 4 gachapon items, as well as the little knickknacks that we got from Japan. And now we proceed to reviewing the final book of this vlog. So here we are with my reading journal, and also flipping to the very last page. I actually gave 12 Days of Murder a 4-star. It's not necessarily the best murder mystery of our times, but I still enjoyed it compared to the disaster that was Murder at Holly House yesterday, or like the day prior. But I really enjoyed this one. It is engaging. The whodunit is very much like cliche and classic in a way, wherein they follow a certain pattern. Each one of them is getting off each day as the days progress, as they are trapped in this manor or big house, whatever it is, during a snowstorm, which is like classic, right? Classic tropes of murder mysteries, wherein one of them is a serial killer, and each of their deaths is like related to a theme of the 12 days of Christmas song, and it's just a very fast-paced, at the very end, very fast-paced sort of story, wherein this is the type of book that I wanted, wherein even if I'm super tired at the end of the day, I would really want to finish and know what comes up next in the next chapter sort of book. Like I had to force myself to stop reading just to take a break. That sort of book, that sort of murder mystery that I like. So I'm pretty pleased that I ended up with this one that is a 4-star. The only reason why I didn't give this any higher than a 4 is probably because I really hate it when the main character, like an amateur detective of some sort, like someone in the group that only wants to find out what really happens, and that they are touching the crime scene, and I really hate that whenever like there is a lot of touching, and then she tells herself that I shouldn't be touching this, but I already have, and my fingerprints is all over this murder weapon, including the murderers, and like, I just hate that. But this is a pretty good quick murder mystery set in Christmas, during Christmas season, and it was fun. It was a fun read. And so those are the 4 books that we have read for this Christmassy vlog, and I really love this. Not so much, definitely not. I actually saw a YouTuber earlier before I filmed this. They were doing the 7 days of murder mystery, or of Christmas murder mysteries, and I was looking through to see if there are more books that I could read over Christmas, because it's not Christmas yet as I'm filming this. And I saw that they also read Murder at Holly House, and actually DNF'd it, and I'm like, I am what do you call this? I can't remember the term. I feel like I was agreed upon, and so many people agreed as well, that this should not be a Christmas murder mystery, but rather it's just set during near Christmas. That's it. That's the only thing. And also Holly House is the only thing that's Christmassy about this book, nothing else. So those are the 4 books for this vlog, and this is probably the last reading vlog of the year. So that is it. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you enjoyed. Hopefully next year, 2025, is going to have like better quality reading vlogs and better reads for us as well. So thank you again, and I will see you in the next video. So until then guys, take care and